Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to finish our look at Dream On by Aerosmith. So we're going to cover that solo section that I just played, but first we're going to tackle all the parts that happened before. We finished with the end of the intro, so now we're going to start with the first verse here, a cleaner guitar tone here, and we're going to start with pretty much the same thing that we were doing in the intro. So you do that like 4 times through, and then we have a pre-chorus here, which sounds like this. All right, so those chords right there, you'll just, you could play the same ones, shape that we did in the intro. You might want to play it like this with your 3rd finger here on the G string, the 5th fret, little finger at the 6th fret on the B, and then the 2nd finger here on the 4th fret on the high E string. So we have that. Then you take this top note down to the 3rd fret here, pick the same 2, then the G with the pick, and then we have the 5th fret on the B. So we have this. Then back up to the 1st chord. Then you go down to the 3rd fret again on the high E string, but you don't bring the pinky down. So we have this all together. Then there's just 6/5 on the G. All right, now this takes us into the chorus, so we're going to crank in the distortion again here, and it's going to start up here with the power chord at the 8th fret off the 5th string. So let me just play through it real quick. Alright, so this chorus is just the power chord off the 8th fret on the 5th, down to 6, 4, back to 6. You just rotate the different choruses in the song, they last different lengths, but they're just all just those 3 chords. Alright, and then you had that little ending. So we just basically have slide into the 5th fret on the G, and then the 3rd fret there on the D string 3 times, 4 times actually, and then back to that 5 on the G, then to the 5th fret on the D string, back to that 5th fret on the G, then the 6th on the D, then the 5th fret again on the G string, then the 3rd fret on the G. And then 6/5 again. All right, then it gets back to a clean guitar tone here, and we're going to start basically back with this little instrumental section that happens before we go back into the vocals, and it sounds like this. Alright, so I did the guitar fill that happens there, so it's actually a guitar layer here. The chords are just pretty similar to the verse. And then it just goes the 6th fret on the high E string, then the 8. And that little fill that happens over there is just 1, 3, 4 on the low E string. Then the 1st fret on the A string. Then hammer 2 to 3 on the A. Over to the 1st fret on the G, then the 3rd fret on the D. Alright, so now we're to the standard verse again with the vocals come back in, and it's just kind of a shorter version of it. This same part just done 4 times. Then it takes you straight back into the chorus. Now coming out of that, the chorus is similar, just a little bit shorter than the first one. And then we get to that instrumental section that happens leaving the 2nd chorus. So that sounds like this. Alright, so then that leads us back into the chorus again. So we're basically going to be playing those same shapes, picking the G string, then the high E, 4 on the high E, 6 on the B, 5 on the G. So we pick the G, and then you're going to pick through 1, 2, 3 twice. Then put the little finger on the 6th fret on the high E string and pick that 3 times across those strings. And then 8 on the high E string, 6 on the B, 5 on the G. Twice. Pick that high note, slide up to 13, and just hit that. So we have this. Alright, then we're just going to kind of rotate between 2 notes. 8th fret on the high E string, and then 6 on the B. And then at the very end, 8 on the B string, and then half step in. Alright, now the second time I'm picking through this thing, it's kind of has a couple little stops in it. Alright, so this first stop is you're going to hold that first chord, pick the G and then the high E string, and then stop. And then just kill the tone. Then pick through the chord twice. And when you get to that G string, the final time, hit that quick and then grab the 6th fret on the high E string. So we have this. Alright, now you're going to pick this chord through once, starting on the G, and then pick the 1st through the 3rd string. And then up to the 8, 6, 5 chord and pick through that twice. And then do that same slide. And then we're going to end it with the same 2 notes. Just going to end there. And then we get basically to the chorus and everything. Now leaving this chorus is when the guitar solo happens. So we're back to some distortion. I'll play the solo at the beginning of the video, so I'll just play through the first phrase that little section of the solo first that we'll learn, and then we'll take a look at it. So here we go. Alright, so what we got there is the same kind of ending of the chorus. And that builds up to this holding the 5th fret on the G. Hitting that a couple times, and then jumping up to the 8th fret, kind of a half step bend, then play 8 normal, and then play the 10th fret twice on the D string. Then roll to the 10th fret on the G, then 8, over to 10 on the D, back to 8 on the G. Then kind of a long bend here at the 10th fret on the G string, 8 on the high E string, 8th on the B, then 11 on the B, back to the 8, and then 10, 8 on the G. Then quickly grab your thumb here at the 8th fret on the low E string, then play 10 on the D, 8 on the G, hold that bend at the 10 on the G, then you're going to roll the 8 from the B to the G, then the whole step bend at the 11th fret on the B. All together. All right, now the second section starts like this. All right, so we're just going up these first fret power chord off the A string, 3rd, 4, and then the 6th. Then you're gonna do the bends at the 16th fret, whole step bend on the B string. And then on the 3rd one, you're gonna start putting vibrato on it. All right, then you're gonna start the lick, the descending lick, which is gonna start with the bend again, and then pick the 16 normal, and then 13 on the B to 15 on the G. You're kind of cutting those notes off every time, kind of staccato sounding. And then do the same thing, basically one string up. So you just moved it from those 2 strings to these 2 strings, and then the same thing another time, one string up. So we have this. And when you get to this here, you're going to treat that like 15, 14, 13, and then 16, 13 on the low E. All right, back through those ascending chords. And you're gonna have this. All right, so that lick is gonna start here at the 8th fret on the A string to 6, to 8 on the low E string, back to the 8 on the A, to the 6 on the D. All right, now we're going to start on the 8th fret on the A, roll over to the 8th on the D, to the 6, back to the 8 on the A, back to that 6, then slide 8 to 10 on the D, and then you're going to play 8th fret twice on the G, back to the 10 on the D. One more time. All right, then you're gonna jump up here for these little double stops. You're gonna first pick 15 on the D, and then 13 across the G and the D together. And then you're going to play 15 across the D and the G. Back to those 13s. So we have then grab those 15s again. And just start bending. You can use 2 fingers if you want. Or just 1 finger. You just grab them and just pulling them towards the floor. All right, and then we start playing through those chords again. When you come up through the chords after the solo, that last solo phrase, you're going to play that same power chord here at the 1st fret, up those same frets, but you're going to add the low E string in there too. So let the first finger bar the low E. So you're playing the same chords, just adding the 6th string in there too. Then just come over to the low E string and play normal power chords on those same frets. And you're going to end it at the 8th fret. Then it's just back into the same chorus through the end of the song. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com. Bye-bye.